is Series 1 by Accent Gold Solutions. Today we're going to be talking about database design and customization, how to get the most out of ACT as soon as you open it up out of the box. Getting started with this, I just want to give you a quick overview of some of the fields that ACT does give you and some of the reasons why you might want to think about designing your database a little bit more, customizing it a little bit more in depth, better to meet your needs. Typically, ACT gives you some basic out-of-the-box information here. You've got a standard business card. As soon as you open up a brand new database, you'll see a business card with some basic phone number, with an address block, a couple of status fields, and then within the tabs, we have a personal info tab, a contact access tab, which is more system information, and then some generic user fields. And I get this question a lot in my trainings is, what are these user fields for? And we're going to talk about that in a minute here. So between these three tabs and the main screen above, you may find that this doesn't quite capture what you're trying to cover in your database design. Especially if you're on an older version of ACT or you began with an older version of ACT, the demo or the default layout and setup that you get when you open up ACT and make a new database may not be quite as nice as this. They've definitely been improving the development of the core database structure throughout the years, but going back to ACT 6, you're going to have a number of extra fields. If you've converted from ACT 6, those fields will still be in your database even though they may not be used. Your layout could look a little funky, so there's definitely some purpose of cleanup, especially if you've began in an older version and have moved into the new. The tasks that I'm going to be covering today, I would say, do apply for the last few years of ACT, but we are training today on ACT 2010, which is version 12. So getting back into what some of these fields are, these user fields ACT gave to us kind of to get us started with customization. If you've got additional information that you want to be able to track, you can use these user fields. Unfortunately, without any sort of customization, you'll have to remember what user 1 field should be used for, user 2, etc. If your database is just your own and you're not sharing it with anybody else, this isn't a problem to start, but my memory tends to go as I get into something, so trying to remember what user 1 without actually changing the label or anything can be a bit frustrating. And so very important to make sure that your fields and your labels match up, and we're going to be talking about that in the second half of class today. All right, when we talk about field design and database design, the first question is, why do I need any extra fields? I understand the purpose of having contact and company and phone and address, so these fields seem pretty obvious. But how might I use some customized fields? Typically, I find that if imagine you had a memo field on your contact, and you type in miscellaneous data about that contact, and you start noticing a pattern. Every time you create a new contact in that memo field, you're typing things like, this is where they, this is the industry that they're in. Or maybe you're writing, this is their anniversary date, or these are their children's names, or this is the potential business that I might be able to do with them. So if you find that you're writing the same memos over and over and over again, that might be a way to think about, I should have a custom field. If you build a field for it, it makes lookups easier. If you're interested in getting into reporting, it'll help with that as well. So it's a good idea to get these fields created in the beginning so that you can have a clean platform to build your data off of. I know, territories, counties, if you want to track additional address information. Maybe you have multiple addresses for a particular contact. There's a few ways of doing that, but it might be a good start to have more fields in your database. To get us started, I am going to make a few recommendations. Typically, when I sit down and customize someone's database, there are a few fields that I like to customize right off the bat. I find that ACT does a good job getting us started, but there's a few things that you can do to make it just that extra step up. So no matter what industry you're in, for the most part, I'd say these fields probably will have some value to you. The first field, as my example that I would talk about, is you know in ACT we have a referred by field. This allows us to keep track of where this contact came from, especially if you're doing any sort of web campaign or search engine optimization or possibly newspaper or radio advertising. It's very important to track how your contacts are finding you to better invest your marketing dollars. But this list can get a little bit cluttered sometimes. For me, I want to see big picture. Am I getting most of my contacts through referrals, through websites, through radio, or through newspaper? I kind of want the big picture, or trade shows, or cold calling. You know, I want the big picture. But more in detail maybe, especially with word of mouth, I want to know who it was, not just that it was word of mouth, but I want to know the specific name. So to be able to account for the big overall picture for the referred by and more detail, I always try to create a referred by details field, and I can fit it right underneath here. And that would have its own drop-down list. And that way I can have referred by could be word of mouth or referral or whatever I'm going to call that. And then referred by details could be Joe Smith, because that's the particular person that sent the contact to me. That way I can get a sense of how my money is being spent marketing-wise in the referred by field. And then more specifically, I'll be able to find out how many contacts has Joe given me in the last year and be able to thank him accordingly. So referred by details is one of the primary fields that I like to add. Another field that I have found be important is some sort of a category field. The reason I say that is ID status. What ACT gives you out of the box with ID status is actually not what we recommend. This kind of mixes in categories of contacts as well as their status. So it kind of makes sense it's called ID status. In general, though, I like to think of ID status how this contact relates to me in a company level. And we're going to be talking theory right now. We're going to get started in designing in just a few minutes, absolutely. So how the contact relates to me on an ID level. So if they're a prospect, are they hot, warm, or cold? If they are a client, are they active or are they inactive? Are they a vendor? Are they a personal contact? Are they employee? In addition to that, we may need a separate field for category or industry, possibly labeling them more specifically that they are in this particular business type or whatnot. The third and final field that we're going to be talking about today as my demo is an address type field. This primary address up in the top screen is the main mail merge address when it comes to working in ACT. That being said, ACT does give us an additional address block down here in the personal info tab. It's called home address. But sometimes if you've got multiple addresses, there could be a warehouse, there could be, there's the mailing, and then there's the, shipping and the billing and the home office and the regular office and the main headquarters, and there's a bunch of different ways of describing someone's address. So it can always be useful to have a field called address type to be able to identify a little bit further. I know that this is the primary mailing address, but what specifically am I working with? And then this home address we have down here, we may want to rename it to be called alternate address and give this an address type as well, just to be able to distinguish between the two. All right, that being said, those are just some pointers that we have in getting started with database design. We're going to go ahead and dig into the actual design of the database now. We're going to talk about how to add new fields, delete fields, and rename fields, as well as some of the properties we have on that level. And then the second part of the class, we're going to be going through how to customize your layout to get them to display properly.